Thanks, Michael. Good to see you guys here. You guys got here quick. I didn't expect that many of you here already. How you guys been doing today? What do you do? Hey, Brittany, your rope's over here. Like yours? My little girl's out here helping today, so if the phone just randomly gets abducted, she's probably trying to help. You guys all getting ready for me to drop the website on the 1st of June? Watch out. Watch out. From Dagestan. Pharmacists can't wait from the website. Greetings from Dagestan. Okay, sorry, pardon the ignorance, but where is that there TCG? Seems like a long ways off. You're still in my spot there. You know that? Yeah. Up there. Hi, Melvin. How are you guys doing today? You're kind of still in my spot there, little girl.
Uh-oh.
You're okay. The little girl stole my hay bale. I like to rope the dummy from a hay bale, but you get your foot rope. Come here. Come here. Up there. Good job. Let me make this for you again. All doing pretty good. The weather finally turned hot, so everybody and their brother's cutting hay right now. So I know it's that time of year, but I'm glad it's here because I'm a fan of the heat. I don't much care for the cold, so glad it's here. She keeps stealing my hay bale. Can you guys see her or not really? Let's see where you pointed. There you go. My favorite rope so far, um, it's starting to be pretty situational, really. Like for trying to throw the turnovers and the hip shots and stuff like that, I'm really liking the silverback. To me, it's got a good weight. I like a little bit of a heavier rope, so it's got a good weight, and it's got enough body to act like it needs to. Um, when I went to a branding that I didn't get to film at, the owner wasn't comfortable with the camera. Um, so let's see. That branding, it was a really fun branding, but I used the tracer there for the first time, and that tracer was it was super awesome on the heel end. You could be like if a guy's riding a colt that's not going to give him a perfect shot every time, that tracer's a super good option for that. Um, because it's got enough body, it's stiff enough to like stand up for a heel trap and not have to have a perfect amount of timing like a poly would. But um, like if I'm just gonna put a rope on my saddle that I can do anything with and that's gonna last forever, I'm always gonna go back to my cottons. So it's pretty situational. Um, Sorry, I got to fiddle with the phone here. It turned dark on me. I can hardly see you guys. Um, Anyways, am I a healer? I'll rope either end there, national team roping. I'm a working cowboy, so I do a little bit of everything. Peter, do you work on a farm? Yeah, I'm a working cowboy and a day working cowboy. So I do as much as I can on horseback, but I'm not scared to get in a hay baler or something like that if it's needed. Let's see. I don't go to really any ropings per se. They're team roping, national team roping. I go to brandings. Nope, never been to the World Cup finals. Do I prefer a snag and drag or a head and heel? A head and heel. I like to rope the calves off the cows. I don't think it's great to I don't think it's great to have to sort the calves off if you're not needing to per se. Make your own hay. The ranch I work for, we make our own hay, and I do some operating for a guy that's got a custom baling business. It's just extra hours to work extra money in my pocket. So in Guthrie, no, I've never been to that roping there. I've only been to Oklahoma once. So you're strong, is what you're saying. I do okay in the gym. Okay, you guys keep chatting away. I'm gonna grab the Cayman and throw a couple loops with the Cayman, see how it's feeling today. Um, it's lighter than the silverback. It's got good body to it. Definitely is a rope that feels better after it gets broke in. Coils are a mess here. Whoa, airball. Like I said, the Cayman's such a different rope than that silverback is. I roped with the Cayman at that branding for a while. Got along pretty good with it, but it's a little light and a little stiff for my taste in a poly. But I imagine, well, there is a lot of people that get along really well with it. Hey, thanks, National Team Roping. Good to have you here. Hi, Cynthia. Yeah, there's definitely a difference between functional working strength and gym strength. Um, where I live right now, I'm close enough to town that I do go to the gym every morning, and it is definitely a different kind of strength for sure. Um, when I worked in the oil fields when I was in my early 20s, guys would show up that were, like you say, farm strong, and they'd be okay. They could, they could hack it, they could make the full day. But you'd show up guys that got all the pretty muscles, and they'd be great for about 2 hours, and then they were just toasted. So it's definitely a different kind of strength. So. Hi, Martha. I'll go back to the old silverback. It was working better here. Your sun rope's good deal. My favorite rope shot to throw. Uh, headshot or heel shot, Colton? Or do you want both? Oh, thanks, Melvin. Yeah, when my arm gets tired here in a minute, we'll walk around and I can introduce you guys to the ponies. Favorite headshot? Um, I'm really a fan of the real deep tip overs. I like to walk into a herd and peel a calf just off the very outside of the herd and set that calf way deep on my left shoulder, maybe even just a hair past my left shoulder by my horse's flank back there, and with that real deep tip over, just dab it around their neck. And then if I'm riding like my Mustang, who's really handy, or trying to show off or be fancy, it's one of those kind of brandings. Of course, you can always pull your slack up and then turn your horse the other way, and it just looks kind of neat because there's a bunch of motion there. That deep tip over is one of my highest percentage shots too, so of course a guy likes it when a shot works. Um, I do like throwing long hula hands also. Um, I don't have as high as percentage with those as I would like, but it's getting better. So you take that, sort that calf off, and he comes past your horse's hip here, and you can just drop it on him like that. I enjoy that, and it usually works well for me if you got a calf that's being really tough to rope, like the last one of the day or something like that, and he's been hit 4 or 5 times with a rope. He learns that if he's in front of a horse, he's going to hit you with the rope, so he gets pretty leery. But when he's off to the side of your horse like that, he might be looking for his cow or something like that, and it just works a lot of times when a headshot out in front of your horse is a little bit tougher. Oh, yeah. So you show up to a Brandon Colton. Would you rather, if there wasn't like the stigma of being that guy that only heads or only heels, if you could just pick one or the other, what would you do? Oh, a flower? Oh, who's that for? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'd work perfect together at a Brandon Colton, because I'd rather be the guy that just sits off to the side of the trap on the side of it there and comes in and throws my heel shot every time. But I've always I, I've always just liked to heel more, mainly because so many people mess it up so bad, and it's just quicker when your healers are being proficient. But, You guys can't see it, but off screen, my little girl is trying to feed Ollie shovels full of dirt. Ollie looks so impressed over it. It's kind of funny. Wow. Having a hard time with that one today. Wait. Stay on the concrete. Yeah, Mama's home, but hold on. You just wait right there. Okay, go see her. My wife just got home and I make my daughter stay on the concrete until the motor shuts off and whatever she's driving. Okay, I'm gonna give my arm a break. You guys want to go see the horses? I'll turn you around here. Thought I did. There we go. We got all the mares right here. They're everybody's being pretty lazy. It's one of the first really hot days this year we've had. We got old Luke right there and Henry. Of course, Henry's got to come up and be a nuisance. I'll show you guys the truth of how Luke really is. Hi, Trapper John. That's Trapper John. He's a full sibling to Rush. Okay, this is how Luke really is. Oh, really? You're going to prove me wrong. He never lets me walk up to him like that. When you see his freeze brands, it's peeled and it's just now starting to hair over. It's got real fine hair on it. But it should look pretty good for him. And of course, you got all Rush here. So, and I think I'm gonna refreeze brand him because his didn't stick. When we did him and Hot Lips and Henry's didn't hardly stick at all. It was the first time I'd ever used that particular iron, and it's aluminum versus a lot of freeze brands are copper, and I didn't hold it long enough on these guys, so they didn't take totally, so I need to touch them up. But and you got my wife's little barrel horse there, little Rogue. She's out of one of Fallon Taylor's studs. My wife could tell you about it, I forget. Then you got Hot Lips in the back there. That's another full sibling to Rush. So you can see being in the gelding pen here is kind of like being in a shark tank. There's always somebody wanting your attention there. Except Luke. Luke's pretty happy just standing in the background. All right. You guys okay? All right. Let's move that dummy around a little bit and try and throw some different shots now. Where are you from, Colton? Do they head and heel a lot of brandings out there, or snag and drags? Wow, that was ugly. I went to college in Iowa, Colton. I know exactly what you mean. Any of you guys out there thinking about going to the Pro-Am this year in August? Yeah, I've never been to either. But I'm entered up in the pro-am with Michael Clausen from Bucking K Horsemanship. Um, so all the fancy loops, the turnovers and such, I'm having to learn because I've never bothered to throw them. I've always just thrown the working man loops. But it's been a good challenge. It's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll regret the decision, but instead of taking my bridle horse, I'm gonna take my 4-year-old half draft, and maybe, hopefully, one of my buddies from down the road will enter, and he'll take my bridle horse, the Mustang. But we'll see what happens. I might get told never to come back. I don't know. I can't be the only guy that's ever took a 4-year-old to the pro-am, right? I mean, that can't be that crazy of an idea. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Oh, that's pretty neat. Having a futurity for that's pretty neat. I think a ranch open futurity might be okay, but in general, I really don't like any of the futurities because I don't believe in riding a young horse that hard. I see like the 2-year-old futurities, like in the cutting pen and the reining pen, like it's absolutely amazing what them trainers can do with young horses. But I just cringe because young horses like that, God, their growth plates are open, their bones are soft, their hips are still open. It's just, you see them moving like that and being rode that much, and you wonder what it's doing to the longevity of the horse. But I don't think I don't think that most people think that way. And when you're breeding horses and you're playing the game just for futurity, well, that's what it's for, I suppose. Where I'm trying to make them to where, you can still go out and put a 30-mile circle on them when they're 18, 19, 20 years old, 24 years old even. I'd rather just ride them less when they're younger and let them come along a little slower and have a horse longer. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, it's really impressive what those guys can do with such a young horse. They make them really good, really fast. Honestly, I wouldn't be pushing brush as hard as I am this year. Um, except I can see Well, Mustang, his knees are starting to get a little bit bigger, so I know he's earned it, and it's his time in life that he starts getting more days off than he gets days where he's hammered on, which is only fair. He's worked for me for a lot of years. I said, don't blow your horse up to make it to the futurity. If that horse doesn't have it yet, wait until it's 5 and show it. That's a great mindset to have. That's, I don't know who that trainer was, but that's a great mindset to have. Hey, you bet, Colton. Have a great night, huh? Thank you, Carolyn. Hi, Evelyn. How are you? You must be a speed demon, huh, Carolyn? It's a hell of a thing, isn't it, Homer? You're one of my OG viewers, as they say. You're one of the oldest subscribers I got there. Homer, you've been since the channel was just a baby. I think you've been around since, gosh, what, 2021 or so, I think I started seeing you. I started the channel and posted, I don't know, 4 or 5 videos, and like they were not very good, and I was trying to figure it all out. And then I went to work for a ranch where I didn't have internet, so the channel pretty much stopped for a few years. And one day on my phone, I was trying to help a buddy with one of his pickups, and he was asking me about mine, and I made a little short of mine starting in the cold, and posted it. And Homer commented on there something like, "Man, I know you haven't sold your saddle. Where's the cowboy stuff?" or something like that. And that always ate at me when I was not posting and stuff like that. And then when I decided to bring the channel back, I thought, man, I wonder if Homer will still be around. Yeah, we're gonna run into each other sometime, Homer, that's for sure. It's too small of a world. You were meant to see this because time is nearly up. Repent. Amen. Veiled messenger. Everybody needs to make sure they're right with the Lord. That's a pretty important message there. Whoa. Homer, I know there's some pretty cool cowboy country up in Idaho. I'd make the trip up there day working if I ever got the opportunity. I don't go to Idaho very often for whatever reason. Seems like most of my circle is Northern California and Nevada. A little bit into Oregon, but not very much. But I dang sure go. I've heard that like the fall in Idaho, like in northern Idaho, is pretty cool with all the colors and the hunting and stuff. Oh my goodness. It is not working right now. How are you guys liking the Northern California day working videos? You guys think Luke was pretty funny sticking himself in that pond where I wouldn't go chase after him? I wish you guys could have seen the smile on his face. There we go. Then we airball it. From Butte County, I'll be darned. That's pretty cool. I lived up north for 10 years. Very nice. Been down here in Shoshone for 3 now. Wondering what door will open next. Are you cowboying, Homer? Or what are you? Sound like you move around, so that sounds about like a cowboy. Yeah, so that we'll have this Friday. I'll drop the last video from that trip to Northern California, and then Thursday I'm headed back up there for another 3 or 4 or 5 days, something like that. So, but Mr. Blue Shirt, he's got ranches all over. So we'll see a bunch of different country. We're gonna go, he says we gotta go into some super steep, brushy coastal country. So that should be pretty good for my dogs, to work my dogs in. And I'm gonna take Henry and Rush. I'm gonna give Luke about a week off. And then when I get back from that, I gotta go up to the other side of Northern California by Susanville for a day. I think we might be in the trees there, in the pine trees. Might be gathering down onto some deserts or something. I'm not exactly sure, but it's gonna be. I feel like I should change my name to Roebuck, California here, as much as I've been crossing the state line lately. If I did that, I'd probably have to pay more taxes, though. And then June comes, we'll be going to the branding there at the Colby Cattle Company. That ought to be a good time. Hopefully some northern Nevada brandings and maybe a little bit of gathering. And then towards the end of the month, we'll be headed back over to coastal California with Cole and Shiner and all them guys again. And that trip's always just a riot. That's a fun crew to work with. Don't cowboy for and just love the cattle life and raise a few here and there. Oh yeah. Yep, I hear you. I'm giving about 5 more minutes here, and then I got to go back to putting a new steering box in my flatbed pickup. That's what I've been doing most of the day. That's why I didn't get a regular video put out today, but I thought I'd stop and take a break and rope the dummy and talk to you guys for a bit. So if you got any last thoughts or questions, go ahead and don't be shy. We don't bite. Well, I mean, Ollie and Baker bite, but I don't bite. Started working for a ranch a year ago. Any wisdom you could pass on? Keep your chin up. We're gonna go out to the desert with the kids. Talk to you soon. Adios, Escobar or Homer. Take care. Um, yeah, Michael, just the biggest thing, pray about everything. The second biggest thing is be honest with your abilities. Don't ever be scared to learn. And the best thing to learn is no matter what you're doing, whether you're branding calves, building fence, mechanicking, haying, it doesn't, like, in any faction of life, hang around the best people you can and observe. Some people will be really open to teach if you ask, and some people won't, but you can always just watch what people are doing. And if they're better than you are at what you're doing, just watch and learn from them. And they say imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And I kind of always tried to notice that the heel, and the way I heel when I set a regular heel trap, by cutting the calf off, stopping my horse and hipping it over, and throwing my loop when my horse is totally stopped. That was something I picked up from watching a man named Christian Oyarzun rope, and he roped extremely well. He still does. But I just tried to dissect, because he was 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet with this, I mean, absolute limp dish rag of a wore out poly rope. I'm serious, you could have tied a plastic bag shut with it. It was so limp. And just 2 feet consistently. And I just started trying to dissect what he was doing. And all he was doing is that calf would be coming up, and he'd ride in there and hip over. And as that header pulled that calf by, he threw the same heel shot every single time. And once I figured out that that was what he was doing, I started trying to do it, and my percentages on the heel end came way up. So it's the same way if you're shoeing horses. It's raining out, and all the cowhands are in the barn shoeing horses, and there's one guy there that never comes up missing a shoe at the end of the day. Maybe just either, if he's a friendly guy, say, hey, can you just give me some quick pointers on your clinches or leveling a foot, or whatever the case is there. And if he's not that friendly of a guy, just kind of watch him quiet and maybe notice what he's doing different than you are, and try and figure out how he's doing it. Don't ever be scared to ask help. Most of the people I've met in this industry are willing to share advice. I mean, there's always jerks, of course, but don't ever tell anybody you can do something that you can't. But don't be timid either. Don't be intimidated by the big ranches, the big crews, all that. Like, try it, go for it. Just be honest and work hard, and your skills and abilities will come way up as you spend time doing it. And there's always going to be somebody handier, and there's always going to be somebody that you're handier than that's watching you to try and figure it out. So just stick to it and enjoy it. It's a good life. So anyways, I'm gonna walk through the horses one last time here, guys, make sure they're all doing okay, and then I gotta get back to my mechanic and it's fun stuff. Yeah, you bet, Michael. You're very welcome. And don't ever be scared to ask questions on my videos. Bailey's old paint mare there, she's like 26, and she's starting to show her age pretty good, but she's sure a cool old horse. Don't ever be scared to ask questions on videos, and if it's something I can answer just real quick in the comments for you, I will. Where if it's something I'd like to explain, I'll make you a whole video about it, Michael. Sharing the knowledge with guys that are starting out, that's how we keep this culture alive, and I think everybody'd agree on that. See Miss Kelly right there, she's just about asleep. Mustang is asleep. Look at that. You awake? Oh, whoa. Good morning. Jeez. Oh. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you Friday from the last day on that Northern California trip. Adios.